من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الأطيبين الأنجبين بهم نتولى ومن أعدائهم نتبرأ إلى الله. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا وذليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. Returning to our talk, and that is the Wasiyyat of Mawla Amirulmomineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam, and to his son Imam Mujtaba alayhi salatu wassalam. Today Imam talks about the importance of dua. Imam says, فَالْحِحْ عَلَيْهِ فِي الْمَسْأَلَةِ, that is, you seek Allah and you persist in what you want. So dua means to supplicate, to ask Allah. How you ask, what you ask, again Imam is teaching us tonight that as to what should your requests be and how you should ask. When you see Quran in Surah Maryam, there the Almighty, He says that إِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ نِدَاءً خَفِيًّا, that Hazrat Zakaria Salamullah alayhi, he sought the Almighty Allah in dua. Says ذِكْرُ رَحْمَةِ رَبِّكَ عَبْدَهُ Zakaria. It's the mention of the mercy of Allah to His servant Zakaria. When he sought Him in dua. إِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ, when he sought his Lord, nida'an khafiyya. Nida in Arabic means to call. And then we've got two terms here, nida, and then we have najwa. Nida means to call loud. Najwa means to whisper. So here says that is nada rabbahu nida'an khafiyya. He called to his Lord, and a call that was khafi. Khafi means secretly, within himself. So in seeking the Almighty also, there are all these different variations and ways how you seek Him. Sometimes you call Him loud, sometimes you whisper, sometimes you call and speak to Him secretly within yourself. Now that what Prophet Zakaria did was that he sought Him secretly. Now sometimes it's good that you get together in a congregation, but now with this situation that we are in, all congregations, they are banned, we can't get together. So that is a beauty that we had, that is getting together. Hadith says that when you get together and you pray, du'as, they are accepted. But now also it's the same thing that we are doing, but not with the social distancing in place, but the same dua and the same a'mal are being observed. But the beauty of that jama'at, it's gone. Now, when you pray, sometimes you want to recite this dua, you just recite it, you want to recite it out loud. That's good for the congregation to benefit to hear. Sometimes you're doing it on your own and you're all alone in your room. There, it's you yourself. Maybe your thoughts are there with you, with those thoughts. But when it comes to calling upon Allah, nida and khafiyya, very secretly, only to the Almighty, meaning that even the thoughts are not there. So it is wholly, solely the presence of me and my Lord. Not even anyone in the room, not even the thoughts that come up into my mind, they are also not there. And it is that kind of a nida which is secret and which is to the Almighty God. Imam says, فَالْحِحْ عَلَيْهِ فِي الْمَسْأَلَةِ, that is, you ask and you seek your requests and you persist, you continue. Not that you get tired, you asked a few times. People, they say that we offered a prayer and we asked and it didn't happen. No, you have to have that persistence in asking Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. There in that Farsi saying, it says that you have to continue asking and Gyargeda Kahil Buvad Taksir Sahib Khane Cheese, that if the beggar he doesn't know how to ask, then it's not the flaw and the fault of the one who wants to give. He wants to give, he's there. But then you have to ask properly and then you get. You have seen it yourself that there are people who don't ask, they don't get. There are people who ask. There are people who ask in a way that they get it quicker as well. So in getting from Allah Ta'ala, that persistence has to be there. Continuity in asking the Almighty has to be there. Imam says, if you ask him, يَفْتَحْ لَكَ أَبْوَابَ الرَّحْمَةِ, he will open for you the doors of his mercy. Just like there for Prophet Zakaria, he says, ذِكْرُ رَحْمَةِ رَبِّكَ عَبْدَهُ زَكَرِيَّا, that is, it's the mention of the story of Hazrat Zakaria when he sought him and the doors of his mercy, they opened before him. Then he says that وَلَا يَقْنُتْكَ إِنْ أَبْتَأَتْ عَلَيْكَ الْإِجَابَةِ, if the request of your du'as has been delayed, the acceptance of it, don't lose hope. Losing hope is the greatest sin. Says don't lose hope. فَإِنَّ الْعَطِيَّ عَلَى قَدْرِ الْمَسْأَلَةِ. Now that what you are asking and what you get, it depends on what you ask. So sometimes things are granted quicker, sometimes they are delayed. Imam says sometimes they are delayed. The acceptance of your dua is delayed for a longer duration. Sometimes it is delayed for the next life, for the hereafter. So du'as, they may be granted to you here, they may be granted to you quicker, they may be granted to you in the next generation, they may be granted to you in the next life. So du'a, they don't go waste. It will definitely be given to you, but when it will be given to you, we don't know. So we pray that Allah, He gives us what we want, and we pray that He grants it sooner. Now that sooner or later is upon Him. Although we say that now, but then why is it not granted to me now? Why is it granted to me later? All these are issues, inshallah, that Imam is touching on them tonight. وَرُبَمَا سَأَلْتَ الشَّيْء فَلَمْ تُؤْتَهُ. You ask for something from Him, He doesn't give you. وَأُوتِيتَ خَيْرًا مِنْهُ. He gives better than what you have asked. عَاجِلًا أَوْ آجِلًا. Maybe here, soon in this world, or in the hereafter, later. أَوْ صُرِفَ عَنْكَ لِمَا هُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكَ. Maybe He just puts it away. You are asking something from Him, it's not meant for you, not good for you. So He puts it away. فَلَرُبَّ أَمْرٍ طَلَبْتَهُ فِيهِ هَلَاكُ دِينِكَ وَدُنْيَاكَ لَوْ أُوتِيتَهُ. Imam says sometimes the thing that you are asking Him, your deen and your dunya, both of them, they will be destroyed if it is granted to you. So He doesn't give it to you. Says وَلْتَكُنْ مَسْأَلَتُكَ فِي مَا يُعْنِيكَ مِمَّا يَبْقَى لَكَ جَمَالُهُ وَيُنْفَى عَنْكَ وَبَالُهُ. That what you are asking the Almighty for, it should be something beneficial, something useful, something whose beauty remains for you and something whose evil also is taken away from you. So that what you ask, it has to be sensible, it has to be good for this world and the hereafter. Then Imam says, if it is wealth that you are asking Him, that wealth, it will not remain. Nor will you remain for that wealth. Neither of you will be remaining. فَإِنَّهُ يُوشَكُ أَن تَرَى عَاقِبَةَ أَمْرِكَ حَسَنًا أَوْ سَيِّئًا أَوْ يَعْفُوَ الْعَفْوَ الْكَرِيمَ. So He knows best what to be given to you, when to be given to you, and what is best for you, and what should not be given to you. Du'as, they don't go waste. The du'as you have to have, and du'a, it's one of those essential requirements that we need in this creation, in the before the Almighty Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Ad-du'a mukhul ibadah. Du'a, it is that core of the ibadah, of worship. Core of worship, it's du'a you need to have. And the closer to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is someone who is more bonded to the Almighty in du'as, by way of du'a. So du'a, it's something which is important, we need to have in our lives, and Ma'asumeen alayhimus salam all of them, Imams, all of them, the Prophets, all of them, they were all bonded with the Almighty with dua. Dua, it's supplication, supplication in all these different ways and moods, especially in this month of Ramadan. It's all supplications, all kinds of supplications, different supplications, and then you've got these salawat and tasbihat. It's all amazing. It's a whole beautiful package that Allah has made for this month. One of the, just as a reminder before I forget, and that is tomorrow, 13th, 14th and 15th of the sacred month of Ramadan, it is highly recommended that you recite Dua Mujir. Now these 3 days that we have, 13, 14 and 15, they are known as the Ayyamul Beed. Ayyamul Beed means the nights, the days of splendor, the shining days, and the nights of splendor for the nights of the Ayyamul Beed, which start from tonight. The night of the 13th, night of the 14th, night of the 15th, and the day of 13th, 14th and 15th, they are the days and nights of splendor. In these, on this day, Dua Mujir is highly recommended. Dua Mujir, Rasulullah was occupied in worship in Masjid al-Haram by the Maqam Ibrahim. Jibreel, he descends and he brings forth this dua, which is all the names of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. And then after every mentioning every attribute of the Almighty, we say Ajirna minan nari ya Mujir, protect us from the fire, O He who protects. Mujir, it's Allah who protects from the fire. So recite that dua, it's good. And here the hadith from the Prophet, he says that if someone's sins were as many as these stones in the ocean bed, or like the drops of rain, that many sins, says they will be forgiven by this beautiful dua. So duas are important. Ad-dua mukhul ibadah. So dua mujir. It's a small dua, beautiful dua, doesn't take much of your time, and it's very easy to recite as well. Ad-dua mukhul ibadah. Now, sometimes du'as, they are delayed. Hadith says that when mu'mineen will check into their chambers in the heaven, there, after seeing all those blessings that are being given to them, they would see there are some of these gifts and packages that have been placed in their chambers. They would ask the angels who have checked you in that what are these packages, what are these gifts? They would say that you had some du'as in your life in the world. They were not granted to you whilst you were living in dunya. Allah has compensated every one of those du'as which did not materialize in your worldly life here in the akhirah. The mu'mineen would say that we wish none of our du'as in dunya were ever accepted. When Allah, He is compensating everything in such a beautiful way, in such a beautiful form in the akhirah. So du'as, sometimes they are delayed. In that delay also there is a maslaha, there is a wisdom hidden in it. Sometimes du'as, they are delayed for a duration of time, maybe in that year, maybe that month, maybe that day. Sometimes they are delayed for years. Sometimes they are delayed and given to you according to your dua in the next generation of yours. Sometimes later. Marhum Allama Tabatabai, he quotes an incident that when he was studying in Najaf and he was short of funds were coming from Iran, and he didn't have anything to survive. He borrowed a lot of money, then he couldn't survive even then, and he sold so many of his books and home stuff and appliances. All of them were sold just to get some money for him to survive in Najaf. Says one day he was just tired, that it's come to his until here that he can't borrow anything from anyone. It's just being embarrassed before people. He says, I stood before the sacred dome of Amirulmomineen's shrine, and there I said to Amirulmomineen, Ya Ali, this is not the way how you can host someone who has left everything behind, who've come to you to learn, to study. And he says, I spoke to Imam so much, and then I cried, and I came in my house. I hadn't closed the door completely. Someone knocked at the door, And I went there, and he said that this is some money for you, and it's been sent from Amirulmomineen alayhi salam. And then he say his name also was written on the envelope, the person who brought forth, and he says that this money is going to be sufficient for you for the duration of your stay here in Najaf until you return to Iran. He says, I took the money and I was so happy that I even didn't ask who he was. I later just noticed the name that was written on the envelope and the mediator who brought, or the person who delivered this money. Says my studies they ended in Najaf, and I returned to Tabriz. It was my habit that twice every week I used to go to the graveyards, and I was visiting one of the graves there. And says I came across a grave, broken, quite an old one, 300 years old, and I see the name written on that grave. It was the same name that was written on that envelope years ago when the money was delivered to me. So 300 years ago that person has passed away. Maybe he had a wish somehow to be delivered to someone that was materialized 300 years later after his demise, after his so du'as, they don't go waste. Du'as you have to ask, you have to be persistent in asking, as it was mentioned in the first phrase of this beautiful wasiyyah, that you sincerely ask. One of the other ulama who passed away recently, it's Ayatullah Fakhr Rizwanullahi alayh. He is among those who had who says that I was studying in Fayziyah in Qum, the madrasa in Qum, and I was hand to mouth, struggling. Didn't have anything, but I had that yaqeen, that iman, that everything is getting to us via the Imam alayhi salam. He says that I took out a pencil and a paper and started writing the list of items that I need, the grocery list. He says I wrote oil and rice and salt and all of those things that he needed, milk and yogurt and what not. Says the last item that I jotted down on that list, someone knocked at the door. Says I opened the door, it's Marhum Fakhr who is with a grocery basket, and everything that I requested has been delivered to me. So Imam is there, and this asking and be sincerely asking the Almighty Allah for what you want is the goal, it's the aim. So he sincerely asked and he got what he wanted. That iman has to be there. There is someone who is taking care of us, and with the dua we seek the Almighty. Now the other thing is that in dua, when you approach the Almighty Allah, you are admitting that you are the servant of God and you are in need of God, and you are humbled before Him, and there is no one else who could provide to you apart from Him, the Almighty God. So that again has to be there, that I am His servant. In du'as, generally what we do is that we want to get these things granted quickly. Tonight was Laylatul Qadr. We had the dua and we expect things to happen tomorrow. Yeah, it's good to have to be hopeful, to be optimistic, and that is how Allah has created man. وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانَ عَجُولًا. Man has always been in a rush. He wants things to be done quickly, fast. So in du'as also he has got that same mindset, that he let du'a be granted to him as quickly and as soon as possible. Now, du'as that we have, those du'as, sometimes they are in our benefit, sometimes they are not. Here the Almighty Allah, He who bestows, who gives, He knows who He has created and what exactly my needs and requirements are, and how much I need, for how long I need, when do I need, and that what I'm asking is good for me or not, I don't know. Things we ask, they may be bad for us, so He doesn't give. Things we ask, they may be good for us, that what we haven't asked, so He gives that better option to us before us. Says you ask Allah, you call upon Him. Ud'uni astajib lakum. You call upon me, I will respond to your dua, to your call, to your distress. Now, in du'as, we have to feel that Allah is just here, near us, very close to us, and He is getting all these messages and that we are in need. Ya wa idha sa'alaka ibadi anni fa inni qareeb ujibu da'wat ad-da'i idha da'ani. The Almighty says that when someone asks you about me, I am very close. فَإِنِّي قَرِيب, I'm very close. أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ, I will fulfill and grant and accept the du'as of anyone who seeks me whenever he seeks me. So it doesn't matter who that person is and where, that dua will definitely be granted. If it is for him, then it will be granted to him. If it's not meant for him now, then later. Then if not for this world, then in the hereafter. But the dua, it will never go waste. Now, Imam says, لا يقنطك إن أبطأت عليك الإجابة, that you don't lose hope if the ijaba or the acceptance of dua, it is delayed. But it will definitely be granted. Now we see that Bani Israel, who were under the influence of Fir'aun, were being tortured. They had a dua, and that is the Messiah, his birth be hastened, so that they are eased and they are freed from all this torture and tough time that they are going through because of Fir'aun. So Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala accepted the du'as of the ulama of Bani Israel, and the birth of Prophet Musa was hastened by 170 years or 70 years. It was hastened by that time, by that much of a years. Imam as-Sadiq, he says that hakaza antum, you also are like that. If you sincerely pray to the Almighty, the return and the appearance of Imam al-Asr alayhi salatu wassalam also will be hastened, will be quick. So don't lose hope. In dua, just continue. Now these du'as that we are reciting in this month, Allahumma adkhil ala ahli al-qubur as-surur, how many years? It is the dua from the Prophet. So it's about 1420 years old, this dua. So he taught it to us, and until now we've been reciting for centuries and centuries. But we haven't lost hope. We are still continuing with it. It means Allah gladden the dwellers of the grave, all of them. Allah grant shifa to all those who are ill, all of them. All those who are in captivity, free them. All those who have been misled, guide them. All those who are uncovered, cover them. All those who are hungry, feed them. So this, all those that we are asking in this dua, it hasn't materialized for the past 14 centuries. So when will it materialize? It is going to be the era of the return of Imam alayhi salatu wassalam. At that time, all of that what we are asking here will be accepted, and everyone will be at ease, everyone will be provided, there will be no faqr, no poverty, and there will be everyone will be freed. All these travelers who've been lost or who have been stuck somewhere for whatever reason, all of them, they be returned. So we learn a few things in this dua. First of all, that is to not lose hope in the Almighty. And secondly, when asking the Almighty, be large, very large. Don't just stick to things, just a few things that you need. Now that what I need, that what I know, it's just a few things that come to my mind. Maybe the house, the family, the schools and the colleges and the children. That's the basic stuff that we come. But there are thousands and millions of needs and requirements that we are totally unaware. Blessings that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala has given to us. Now blessings that He has given to us, so many, they are numerous. For example, this eye that He has given to us, it's got a little hinge like there, which opens and it closes all by itself. So that's a blessing that He has given to us. There are people who've lost that connection or that lubrication or the muscle of that hinge, it's gone. So that eye, it doesn't open, it's closed all the time. If they want to talk to you, they have to open the eye manually, see you, and then it drops down again. So that is a blessing that He has given to us, which we are always unaware of, one of the blessings. Like that, numerous needs and requirements are that. Did we ever thank for that blessing that He has given to us, that God, thank you for that little hinge you've put in my eye that makes it so easy for me to open and close it on demand. So if that was taken away, what a big mess it would be, how much of a trouble it would be. So there are numerous blessings that He has bestowed upon us that need to be thanked. We don't thank Him. And then all of these provisions for all of these blessings, they are being provided by the Almighty. They are being provided by Him, and without us praying for that and asking for that as well. So these are things that we need to care and look into, that when it comes to dua, the best of du'as is what we will ask the Almighty on the day of Eid. We say, As'aluka an tudkhilani fi kulli khairin adkhalta fihi Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. That Allah enter me into every good that you entered Muhammad and ala Muhammad into it. Wa akhrijni min kulli su'in akhrajta minhu Muhammadan wa ala Muhammad. And you bring me out from every evil, every every bad, that you took away Muhammad and Ali Muhammad from it. So that what I want, it was what he has given to Rasulullah and the Ahlul Bayt. Rasulullah is the best of his creation. For him he created everything. For him he brought everything into existence, and the Ahlul Bayt. Now, when what he would give them, the best he would give, the best of the good he would give them. He would take away and remove all the bad from them. He wouldn't want anything to come to them. So I also ask for a similar dua, that Allah enter me into every goodness that you entered Muhammad and Ali Muhammad in it. So try and memorize these bits and pieces from du'as, from this dua qunut of Eid, and you recite it in your prayers. Adkhilni fi kulli khairan adkhalta fihi Muhammadan wa ala Muhammad wa akhrijni min kulli su'in akhrajta minhu Muhammadan wa ala Muhammad. Now, sometimes du'as, they are delayed. Why are they delayed? In a hadith, Imam as-Sadiq alayhi salam, he says that inna al-abd la yad'u. A servant, he seeks Allah, he prays, he supplicates. He says, and then فَيَقُولُ اللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ لِلْمَلَكَيْنِ. Allah instructs the two angels and says to them, I've accepted what he wants. I've accepted his du'as. But hold on to it. Put it on hold. And then says that, فَإِنِّي أُحِبُّ أَنْ أَسْمَعَ الصَّوْتَ. I love to hear the voice of this mu'min who is supplicating to me. So to Allah, His joy is in me supplicating to Him. He says, for that reason, I'll hold on to His request. I won't grant it so soon, because I love to hear Him. So how beautiful that is. The Creator, He loves to hear us. He wants to plead to Him. He wants us to talk to Him, and He wants us to supplicate to Him. That is one of the reasons why du'as are delayed, that your du'a, it's been put on hold and on the repeat mode to be heard in the skies by the Almighty and the angels, because of that, like these background musics you have. When you call someone, they put you on hold. So here the hajat is put on hold, and your voice is being played in the arsh and the skies, like that background music. And so Allah, He says, I love to hear the mu'min when he supplicates to me. وَرُبَّمَا سَأَلْتَ الشَّيْء فَلَمْ تُؤْتَهُ وَأُوتِيَتْ خَيْرًا مِنْهُ عَاجِلًا أَوْ آجِلًا. Sometimes you ask for something, but He wants to give to you something better than what you have asked. So maybe for that reason it is delayed. You're asking for something of an average quality. He wants to give you something of a higher quality. You want something simple and just to the of an average mark. He wants to give you something which is great, which is far more better for you. So sometimes du'as, they are delayed for that reason that we find in this Wasiyyat of Amirulmomineen. Now, what do we ask the Almighty in du'as? Imam says here, فَلْتَكُنْ مَسْأَلَتُكَ فِي مَا يَعْنِيكَ. That what you would ask the Almighty should be sensible, something decent, something wise. Don't ask for anything foolish. Ask for something that is good for this world of yours, for the akhirah of yours. And that is what you ask. And then says that what you ask from the Almighty Allah, the beauty of it remains here for you. And just asking for money and wealth says that that money, it's not going to remain for you, nor will you remain to spend that money. So we've got a hadith here. One of those wealthy people, he passed away during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he had stores and many big stores that were filled with dates. So when he passed away, all that date was given away as charity, or he had that will that to be given away as sadaqah and charity to those who are in need. Rasulullah also comes there and he sees that all that is being given away as sadaqah and charity, says if one of these dates, just one of them, picks up one of them, if that was given away as sadaqah whilst he was alive, what he is going to get now from giving away his wealth as sadaqah to those who are in need, from that one date he would have got more. So sadaqat and helping and aid to be provided to others has to be done in this world whilst we are alive. And if after we die we want to do that, it's going to be too late. It's going to be spent according to the Wasiyyat, the rules of inheritance, and there you have the right only in 1/3 of your wealth. So whatever you have, if you are someone who's been blessed with this blessing of wealth from Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, spend it rightfully, and in this life before that separation comes from this dunya, and by the mediation of death. Then says فَإِنَّهُ يُوشَكُ أَن تَرَى عَاقِبَةَ أَمْرِكَ حَسَنًا أَوْ سَيِّئًا أَوْ يَعْفُوَ الْعَفْوَ الْكَرِيمَ وَاعْلَمْ يَا بُنَيَّ أَنَّكَ خُلِقْتَ لِلْآخِرَةِ لَا لِلدُّنْيَا وَلِلْفَنَاءِ لَا لِلْبَقَاءِ. Says, my son, know that, Ya Bunayya, my son, know that you have been created for akhirah, not for this dunya. وَلِلْفَنَاءِ لَا لِلْبَقَاءِ. And you have been created to perish here, not to remain in this world. وَلِلْمَوْتِ لَا لِلْحَيَاةِ. And you've been created to die, not to live. وَأَنَّكَ فِي مَنْزِلِ قُلْعَةٍ وَدَارٍ بُلْغَةٍ وَطَرِيقٍ إِلَىٰ آخِرَةٍ. You are on the path and en route towards akhirah. So sooner you will also come towards this death, and you also have to leave behind everything. So someone who has wealth, from his wealth, as long as he is alive, he can spend whatever he wants, however he wants. But if he doesn't do that, and if he passes away, after his demise, he has the right only in 1/3 of his wealth. So 1/3 of his wealth will be used in accordance to what he wanted, if he had any debts to pay, or he wanted to serve someone, help make a center or some Husainiya, etc., or help someone in need. So it's going to be only from that 1/3 of his wealth, from his source. Apart from that, it will all be distributed according to the rules of inheritance. Ya Allah, between us, Quran and Ahlul Bayt, never ever come across a moment of separation. Make us understand these beautiful teachings and sayings of Ma'asumeen and apply them in our day-to-day life. Ya Allah, hasten in the return of our Imam, and those who are ill and ailing, Allah grant them shifa. Those who have passed away, Allah forgive them, elevate their ranks. Hasten in the return of our Imam. Count us all among the best of his servants. Wa subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, wa salamun ala al-mursaleen, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajjal farajahum.